Hey everybody, this is Julie Quinn, and I wanted to give you an orientation to the midterm. So last week, please check the announcements. I posted some announcements that give you a basic overview of what will be covered in the midterm. The midterm is a test of your knowledge of course concepts like literary terms and especially content in the precursors to the short story Module 2. Module 2 was your first sort of foray into short stories focused on oral storytelling, right? So to prepare really well for the midterm, here are a couple of reminders. First of all, I'm in the syllabus right now, and I've scrolled down to taking proctored assessments. Okay? Important. If you're going to not go to the testing center and you're going to try to take this proctored assessment on your computer, you want to make sure you have the minimum technology standards and so on and so forth. They don't do proctoring at the testing centers themselves. That's just if you're at home and you have somebody making sure that you're following the test rules. And one of the test rules for the midterm is to make sure it's not open book. This is testing your knowledge, okay? You will be expected to use Respondus Lockdown Browser and the webcam to take that online assessment for online courses, okay? You are not required to take it live with me, but can use, you need to work through the proctored assessments module, and I'll show you where that is to complete some required assignments. Before you complete the proctored assessment, that's just to make sure that your computer has the right technology, that your software is up to date, and that earlier on in week 1, you were meant to sort of test that out. Okay, you've got to let me know before the 10th, and the 10th is Friday, if you're having particular technical issues. And my recommendation will be, for the vast majority of you, go to one of the campus testing centers. It's going to make your life a lot easier. You go and you knock it out and you move on. If you physically cannot do that, you're going to need to figure that out early in the week, Monday or Tuesday, to give yourself time for plan B. Okay? You'll notice as well, you may use the Nova Online proctor request. There's the Student Forms dashboard link. Please note, you've got to allow 5 business days to do this. And if you cannot do this in time, you need to go into a testing center. Okay? If you're rolled through a different VCCS college, go to your college's home liaison website. So if you're at like Blue Ridge or if you're at Tidewater, and so on and so forth. Students, by the way, who have submitted a memorandum of understanding to me, if they have any accommodations, I've already addressed those accommodations in the settings for your midterm. If you have not submitted content, that document for me, I cannot do it retroactively. So for example, I can't go in and allow you a second option at the midterm if you did not give me extended time memorandum of understanding of accommodation. Okay? So if we go into the course modules now, here's the best way to prepare for the class. For the midterm for the class. Okay. First thing that you want to refresh yourself is to reading the short story introduction. It gives you some basic terms of the short story and some parameters, because this midterm, a lot of it is about testing how you know how to approach the reading of a short story. Okay? So, background reading, go back and look at your notes on this. This was about 8 pages, I believe. Read that. Module 2 is fair game. Okay, all of the Greek, Norse, and Cherokee creation myths and the fables are fair game in the midterm. You've prepped for this. You've done discussions on these short story modules. You've done quizzes on this module. Everybody that submitted their project has already even gotten grade and feedback from me on your project. So you've done some of that groundwork, and that should nicely prepare you for the midterm. Okay, so remember to do that. In addition, the reading 2.2, so 1.4, which is the background on the short story. 2.2, another couple of pages of just overview bits of information on the short story will really refresh your brain and help you get ready. Again, 1.4, I would read the introduction. I would read all of Module 2, including sort of the overview and the precursors, right? And then Module 3. There's so much heavy reading during Module 3 that you will not be challenged on any of the shorts in Module 3 for the midterm. You're going to be responsible for them for the final, okay? But for the midterm, you've talked about the Cask of Amontillado, Bartleby the Scrivener I did an overview of. I'm going to be engaging with you on Daisy Miller this upcoming week. You're responsible for those other readings and for reaching out to me and working with me. But those readings themselves and the practice will help prepare you for the midterm, especially using some of the literary terms in your analysis and weekly discussions. But the important section for the midterm is literary elements of a short story. You can go through the flashcards and you can review them. It talks about elements like plot, setting, character, conflict, and theme. Because one of your questions in the midterm, and I'm not telling you what the reading is, but one of your questions is to do a reading of a short story in the midterm that you haven't seen before, and to use literary elements in your discussion of that. You're going to have two multiple paragraph essay length responses. So it's mostly essay driven as a midterm, and then you'll have one multiple option sort of answer. So 3 major questions related to those readings, and I have given you the best heads up you could ever have. So those of you that watch this video, you're going to be ready. Take notes on 1.4. Let me go back just again. The short story introduction, the precursors, document, and literary elements, practice. Go through some of this is another way, I think a really good way to prepare. Go through the Cask of Amontillado, or go through Diamond Necklace, and use some of those terms as practice to do a secondary reading of one of the shorter shorts that you've got in the 19th century short stories, and to use some of the terms to practice. There is no better way to prepare for the midterm. All right. I will be around this week for questions. I will not give you any further heads up on the midterm, but I believe the text announcement last week and the video of this week will fully prepare you. And if you have questions you want to talk to me about the current readings and about how do you do a literary analysis, how do you analyze plot, how do you analyze character, how do you analyze arc, I'm more than willing to help you practice, especially if that prepares you for Module 3's project. So we can do that this week. And by doing that, you're really also preparing you for the midterm. If you have any questions, reach out and let me know. No, I'm available Monday through Friday. I am not available on the weekend. So if you wait till Sunday, and the deadline for the midterm is Sunday, and you email me at 8 p.m. in a panic, I will not be responding until Monday morning at that point. So just as an FYI and a heads up. But if you've been keeping up and you've been doing the readings and you've been taking notes, you're gonna do great. I look forward to hearing from somebody this week and helping you even further.